You know the stereotype, right? That your best employees, your most ambitious, driven, star players, they're always just 1 foot out the door. But what if that's totally wrong? Today, we're going to dig into some really fascinating research that completely flips that idea on its head. I mean, it's the kind of question that keeps managers up at night. You pour all this time and energy into your top talent, you give them every opportunity, but there's always that little voice in the back of your head wondering if their ambition automatically makes them a flight risk. So, is that fear justified, or are we missing something huge? Well, to get to the bottom of that, we first have to talk about the modern workplace. The whole idea of what a career even is has changed, and that's created a real puzzle for companies trying to hang on to their best people. Think about it. The old school career ladder where you just work at one company for 40 years, that's pretty much a thing of the past. The new reality is that employees are basically the CEOs of their own careers. They're expected to be proactive, to hunt for new skills, and to map out their own journey instead of just waiting for the company to do it for them. And look, this isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's a real, documented shift. As this quote points out, being mobile and self-directed is now the name of the game. And understanding that brings us to a really important concept that every single leader needs to get. So this new type of self-directed employee, researchers have a great name for them. Protean. It's named after the Greek god Proteus, who could, change his shape whenever he wanted. And this mindset is showing up more and more, especially in your top performers. Okay, protean career orientation. What does that actually mean? It just means that an employee's career is guided by their own internal compass, not just the company's org chart. They're chasing what you might call psychological success. Stuff like personal growth, doing meaningful work, not just the traditional rewards like a bigger paycheck or a corner office. This whole protean mindset really boils down to two key attitudes. First, these folks are values-driven. Their own personal values are their North Star when they make career choices. And second, they're self-directed. They take complete ownership of managing their own path. And, this is exactly where that anxiety starts to creep in for managers. Because if an employee is guided by their own values and is managing their own career, well, it seems logical that they'd be less loyal, doesn't it? A fascinating study decided to put that exact assumption to the test. And what they found is a story of two powerful competing forces. So, get this. Researchers studied 306 employees who were all officially flagged as talented by their big multinational companies. They wanted to figure out the true relationship between having this protean mindset and actually wanting to quit. And they built this model to map it all out. The first thing they found, well, it seemed to confirm every manager's worst fears. Turns out there is a direct line between having this ambitious mindset and wanting to leave your job. Yep, there it is. The data showed a clear, direct push factor. The stronger someone's protean mindset, the higher their intention to quit. So, case closed, right? The more ambitious your employee, the more likely they are to be polishing their resume. Well, hold on, because that is not the whole story. Not even close. The researchers found a second, even more powerful pathway that was pulling in the exact opposite direction. And here's the twist. That same ambitious, self-directed mindset also creates a powerful pull that makes these talented people actually want to stay. It's incredible. That same mindset also leads to higher commitment to the organization and greater job satisfaction. And what do we know about commitment and satisfaction? They massively reduce an employee's desire to leave. So the very same personality trait that creates a little push to leave also creates this huge indirect pull to stay put. So what happens when you've got this direct push out the door and this indirect pull to stay, all working at the same time? This is where the whole myth just completely falls apart. Let's just lay it out super clearly. On one side, you have the push. That ambitious mindset makes them think a little bit more about leaving. But on the other side, you have the pull. That same mindset makes them more committed and satisfied, which makes them want to leave a whole lot less. And here's the punchline. When you add it all together, these two opposite forces almost perfectly cancel each other out. The push and the pull, they're in balance. And don't just take my word for it. Here it is, straight from the researchers themselves. The total effect isn't significant, which means, in plain English, that your most ambitious, protein-minded employee is no more likely to quit than anyone else. The stereotype is just wrong. Honestly, this is a complete game changer. It means we have to stop looking at ambition as a threat and start seeing it for what it is, an opportunity. The question isn't if you can keep these people, it's how. And the best part is, the research gives us a clear roadmap. If you want to keep these employees, you've got to lean into those pull factors. First, double down on things that boost their commitment and satisfaction, like offering training that actually lines up with their personal goals. Second, support their need to be self-directed by giving them autonomy and flexibility. And finally, give them lots of ways to grow. Not just up the ladder, but sideways too, so they can keep building their skills right where they are. So if you only remember one thing from this, let it be this. Your most driven, self-starting people are not a lost cause. Their ambition doesn't make them disloyal. It just makes them more thoughtful about where they choose to be loyal. So, the final question is really for you. Now that you know that ambition can be a powerful force for keeping people, not losing them, how are you going to change your approach? How are you going to build a place where your best, most protean talent decides to stay and absolutely crush it?